Alright, people from YouTube, we are here with a game I got sent to me by a Soviet player, and he apparently has been struggling to see ways to beat MG spam. So let's see what he does in this game. Let's see if we can come up with ways to give him some pointers so that he can defeat MG spam next time he plays against it. We got Acrobatic Verb as the Austria player on the right side of Nexus. And there we got Matthijs as the Soviet player. Well, first off, no reason to build a support weapon campaign. You're going for conscripts. Don't build this. Costs 160 manpower, which could be another conscript. So far only 1 MG from the Acrobatic Verb. And we got a Grenadier coming.
The new Grenadier squad is ready. Sector is ours.
Second Grenadier coming, so still no MG. This is the first engagement coming up here. Let's look at the vision. Matthijs, he's getting in closer. Sees the MG. He is pretty decent reaction time, not too shabby. Third constant coming up too late as well. 18 manpower lost there. For the rest, he has conscripts everywhere, but could have been a sandbag over there. Sandbag green cover obviously helps. This is fine, stand still. I like that. He should know that the MG is still here somewhere. It was with the Pioneer.
This is a nice spot of land, and it is ours.
Ivan! And he shoots as bad as he smells! We have training and discipline! Use it!
Okay, I like the fact that he retreats here immediately. 2 units in green cover versus 1 unit in the open. There's no way he can win this. So he retreats, that's good. Still no green cover here. We definitely need to work on his green cover building. And if we just take a quick look at the minimap, we see that all of the units from the Soviet player, they're all apart. While the units from the Axis player are actually quite together. Especially early game, if you want to win those engagements, it's better to group up your units a little bit more, so you get 2 versus 1 or 3 versus 2 engagement. He's moving into the capsule now. He's closing the distance, which is fine, apart from the fact that there's an MG there. And he basically should have retreated this. You can't win that. I think there's a grenade tank as well, Molotovs, and anti-tank grenade package, which is another 200 manpower down the drain. Both completely useless. Because Molotovs can work if you can get a flank, but first get some units to be able to actually use the Molotovs. So at the moment he is down a unit, while especially with the fact that there's an MG42 on the field, you really need to have more units than 3. So build otherwise, there's a big mistake here. And the Acrobatic Verb obviously is way too passive, as there's 3 units here doing absolutely nothing. Could have pushed with those a lot faster. Then we have this lonely engineer. Well, this engineer is definitely not a combat squad, although it says that in its title. So trying to send the engineer in versus 4 units, that's utter suicide. It's already half health, so the chances that these grenadiers will easily snipe the models of the engineer is quite high.
Comrades, we
But he notices it in time, manages to retreat it, only loses one model.
The enemy is taking what we
So
have.
far still halfway decent. Now we also see medics. So it's what, 4 minutes into the game, and we already have all the upgrades, which total a whooping 200 or 400 and math is hard. 455 manpower, not to mention 20 fuel. So that could have been an extra squad, and that's exactly what he needs if he wants to fight all this. Because there's already 3 combat mainline infantry squads on the field for his opponent, and an MG to support. But there's only 3 combat squad on the field for himself. So he's outnumbered quite hard.
Fresh meat has arrived.
Grenadiers.
The enemy has us in their sights. Fire!
We have liberated this sector. The right flank. The right.
Now once again,
The enemy is
it's a
taking our
kind of
territory.
2v1 here. He does use the cover quite nicely, that's good. He tried to get a second squad over there, but there's a MG on the flank once again. So long range engagement, guns versus Gren, is a kind of an RNG battle, but usually the Grenadiers will win. Especially, conscripts especially need heavy cover to be able to win. So now we're a whole other minute in the game. And this is the moment he starts his extra unit. So at the 5-minute mark, we get the 5th unit for a Soviet player. While Acrobatic Verk already has tacked up and gotten a Panzer Grenadier out. And just look at how much they're floating. There's even a second engineer coming out. Because these both players haven't fought in the game at all. And once again we see Matthijs sending 1 squad at a time. While he knows that his opponent has a lot of squads. And he even tacked up Molotovs, has 140 munitions, but never even uses it. So right now I'm going to hop into auto match versus the AI just to show a simple first 5-minute build order of the Soviets, which should be your standard build order if you are new to the game. And if you just quickly look at the kills, we see that Thijs only got 1 model drop. And trading negatively as Soviets is something that is quite normal, because you have worse combat units, but you got more models. But 1 to 10, that's a little bit too much. So just to show a quick game here. Let's go for the same map. We're going for the Soviets as well versus AI versus AI Wehrmacht. Yeah, let's put it on hard just for easy mode here, just to show you how to do the first 5 minutes of a game. So we are on Nexus, and what we do is we immediately start building our conscripts. We start capturing the map. Doesn't really matter whether you go for north or south. I would say versus Oster you can do both sides. Versus OKW I would always prefer the north side, because OKW starts with a Stern Pioneer, and thanks to these walls it can get pretty easily in close range, which is a fight you'll lose.
Take it. It will be ours.
So immediately get your second conscripts on the way. The aim is that we get 4 conscripts. 4 conscripts that we want to keep alive the entire game. That's going to be our main combat infantry. A map like this has a lot of standard points, so don't stare blind on the fuel points, because with all these standard points they give 5 munitions and 3 fuel. There's a lot of them on this map, so it's good to have those as well. Whenever you have the chance, get a good sandbag position. Put it behind the flag so your enemy cannot completely use it.
Rifleman ready.
Don't forget your 3rd conscript.
We have it. You need something built? Da, tovarish.
And just slowly keep capturing the map.
We will build it. Taking it is one job. Holding it is
And if you see an enemy unit, try and fight it, preferably try and fight it on cover. If it was playing versus a player right now, what you usually see is that the engineer is together with the MG. So you kind of want to shoot at those from max range, so the MG doesn't fire. And at the moment you're shooting from max range, the MG usually needs 2 bursts to be able to suppress your unit. And don't try and get both fuel. It's better to have 1 fuel than none. So get your units a little bit together so you can fight more effectively. Always look for these patches on the ground. They are potholes and they can give you nice cover all around, so yellow cover is there. Okay, so we have 4 conscripts right now. Next up in line is trying to get our healing up. So that will be the 250 field infirmary. It's usually what you want to get next. But it also kind of depends on how your engagements are going. You see an engineer here. Engineer halfway decent at close range, so we want to stay at max range. Immediately try and get the heavy cover. Now I'm not in cover. If I put them on that side, I am in the cover. So this is an engagement I should easily win. These are 2 engineers shooting at max range. So my conscripts will win this eventually. In the meantime, I've won this engagement against the AI because it retreated too slow. So next up in the build order is the field infirmary. You can get a flamethrower on your engineer. But it does mean that you need a 2nd engineer to get a sweeper out. This is also a good spot to build a sandbag. If you put it on this side of the point, it means your opponent can't capture the point while sitting on the good side of the cover. Meantime, my conscripts are fighting in the south still, max range. Just to show the finishing of the build here. Should be the priority. This, once again, is a very good spot to build a sandbag. Yeah, on the cutoff of your enemy, so that you can use it quite nicely. And this, I want to win this engagement, so I'm going to sit behind the cover, and then I'll try and capture the point later. So what we want to do next is get the support campaign after we have the field infirmary. Always watch for grenades. Try and dodge them. Pay attention to when you build sandbags because they might sit all on the same spot. It's a bug that entered the game at some point. So when you finish a sandbag, and if you give the order and then shift, right click, drag behind it, they will automatically set up. So at this point, you want to get the AT gun. So what we said in total was 4 conscripts, the field infirmary, and the AT gun. If you feel like you have too little manpower to get the AT gun out at this moment, then it might be wise to first get the anti-tank grenade package. So if there is an enemy light vehicle, your 4 conscripts can throw an AT package to slow down the vehicle. But this is what you want to get in the first couple of minutes. And from here you can either try and decide to tack up to go for the T-70, or you can get a Maxim to support your conscripts, or maybe if you have a nice commander, you can get the Guard Rifle Infantry Squad, or you can get Shock Troopers or something like that. So that's what you want to get in the first 5 to 6 minutes of the game. And that is the way to start with playing Soviets.